So today I'm in South Bank, we're going to be doing some hyperlapses around here. You may be wondering, what is a hyperlapse? A hyperlapse is essentially the conjoined word of hyper and time lapse. It's where you zip around a city or place really fast and the people and things move around really quickly, and that's basically it. So the hyperlapse came to prominence around 2014 when YouTubers like Sam Calder and others started putting it into their travel films. Before, these methods weren't really done for filmmaking just because it took so much time. To do a hyperlapse, you basically have to take a step, a shot, a step, a shot, step, shot, blah blah blah, so on. It just really wasn't done much because it took hours to do for some cases. But now people are starting to do it because they realize just how fucking good it looks. So the reason you're seeing more hyperlapses lately is because of the advances in technology. You have better quality After Effects plugins like Warp Stabilizer, better quality and more affordable gimbals, as well as tripods. So today we're going to be comparing all three different methods to see which one's the best bang for your buck and which one's the best in which scenario. So the first method is handheld. Now think of handheld, it's the most affordable, it's the second best for time, but it's the worst of cinematics. Now the reason for that is because it's very shaky, you can't really do time lapses essentially, you just have to do it in real time, besides, you know, speeding up in post. So when you're doing a hyperlapse, it's pretty important to enable your rule of thirds on your camera. So I go in here and I put on the rule of thirds as well as diagonal line. It allows me to see the pinpoint center of the frame, so I can make sure I'm lining up the perfect thing. After that, my next best thing to do is probably put on my levels, which is digital for Sony, so I can look through the viewfinder while I'm shooting to make sure it's in the dead center and it's level when I'm shooting. Basically, you can just adjust on the fly to make sure whatever you're doing is fine. For hyperlapse, you got to stay really consistent. You can't stop to do much if you want to get a clean, consistent look. You basically have to keep going. And probably train shoulders, because this shit gets really tiring if you have a heavy backpack on. So probably have a car to leave your backpack in or something. It's the best bet. Now, as you can see, the weather's pretty not favorable at the moment. So my camera's getting a bit drenched and it's a bit of a risk. The thing is, with hyperlapse, I'm doing it anyway because I have a feeling it's going to clear up, which will look really cool. And will really sell the effect because you don't see the weather changing instantly very much in real life. So when I speed it up in post, it'll probably look pretty cool. So right now, you can't really quite see it, but I'm taking a photo of the tower, and the way I'm doing it is by lining up my diagonal cross point with the little part of the tower, the two black parts finish. So I'm lining that up for reference each time, and then I'm taking a step forward, waiting for my in-camera level to level out, go green, and then I take the shot, and then I take another step. And this takes usually about 20 minutes. So, yeah, good idea to eat something before you do it. May have noticed we're back after a literal 3-month hiatus. So we started filming this in December, and now it's what, like fucking March?
It's March.
Yeah. You're getting recorded, man. Ah, oi,
Oi, oi, oi, oi, oi,
oi, oi.
Fuck up.
Do you want to plug yourself or not?
Oh yeah, Matty J Pics on IG. Check out my Instagram right here.
He's finally getting a shout out 3 months after we started filming this bitch.
Fuck up and start.
So this is the second method, which, okay, I can't remember the points I made before. I think it was like cinematics, affordability, and quick to use. This is, I'd say, about the same level of cinematics as handheld, but it's a bit smoother, obviously, because it's a gimbal. Time-wise, it's the fastest, because you can literally just walk with it. You don't have to stop and take photos.
Children!
Finally, price-wise, it's the most expensive method. Yeah, I think it's worth it, because you can literally just pick up and turn it on, and just walk with a gimbal and make a hyperlapse. So we just did the first recording along the South Bank, I don't know, arches? I don't know what the fuck you call it, these things. It was a 5-minute clip, so we walked like however long that is in like 5 minutes, which means I get an entire hyperlapse done in 5 minutes compared to the one I did before when it was raining 3 months ago. That shit took like what, 40 minutes, Matt?
Oh, you were walking probably at least 20.
At least 20 to 40 minutes, or somewhere in that range. Yeah, walking's good because you can get pinpoint accuracy on like a object like a tower or something. You can just keep focusing on the one spot, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's just not fun. Gimbal, this shit, such a good time saver. So we're probably gonna go over the bridge now and do a couple over that way and then a few in the city and just have a look at how it goes and all that shit. And Matt's gonna get some more killer B-roll than he was getting before. We're in the QT Gardens now. Gonna do another hyperlapse here because they got like nice long ass roads where you can just fucking walk forever. Gonna say the downside of a gimbal, probably the fact they're just not accurate. As you probably saw there, it was a bit jittery trying to follow the Brisbane Tower because when you're walking, especially when you go behind an object, you just can't really lock your focus there. But with a camera, you can take your time to like pinpoint the middle of the screen on some form of like architecture, whatever it be, like a certain window or a color. You can always make sure you're getting it on dead center. With a gimbal, you kind of just gotta walk and hope for the best, really. But yeah, let's go do this fucking hyperlapse down here before it gets too dark. This is our last gimbal hyperlapse and we're fucking sweaty. It's so hot, it's like 34 degrees. Now it's night time, so this is the time where tripods shine. So we're gonna come back later, probably in like 3 months, probably 6, who knows. And we're gonna use a tripod because that way you can drop that fucking shutter speed all the way down and you get a nice like long exposure. So you can actually capture cars, buildings at night time in pitch black. It doesn't matter how dark it is. You can actually capture anything you want. Wait, I'm about to do something you'll never... Alright, we're back. Alright, we're back again, or 3 months later as per tradition. This time we're doing the tripod method with Matt behind the camera, doing some big business. We're here for the tripod tonight, the third final method. So, tripod in terms of affordability, the second most cheap method here between hands and gimbal. Set you back about $100 per tripod, up to a couple hundred, depending how much you want to spend. Doesn't really matter, they're just sticks at the end of the day. Time to shoot, it's going to take you the longest to do a hyperlapse because you physically have to move this step by step. That, however, does help with cinematics because this looks the best when doing it because you can really take advantage of the low shutter speed on your camera and get some really unique perspectives. So like example, you can look at clouds moving across the sky, look walk, or cars will turn into beams of light. This looks really good. Alright, so we just finished shooting for the gimbal. We just finished shooting for tripod. And that's it. That's all 3 different methods. Yeah, handheld, gimbal, and tripod. And at the end of the day, I personally think gimbal's the best method just because I always carry my gimbal with me. It's just always there. It only takes 5 minutes to get something good. And if I fuck it up, I can just do it again. How about Matt? He believes handheld's the best method because it's the easiest to pick your focal point. Each frame you can dead on say that you've got it right. It's up to you. Pretty much at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference. Each method has its own pros and cons. I prefer gimbal, Matt prefers handheld. I'm sure some people prefer using a tripod. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. So whatever the situation necessitates, bring what you need and decide for yourself.
Let us know what you think in the comment section down below.
Bro, yeah, make sure you...
Wait, no, you never... Oh, you look scary.
Bro, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It's how to do it. Bro.